Today, I'm going to be comparing the two best hack and slashes of all time in my personal opinion, Alice Madness Returns and Lollipop Chainsaw, to see which game is better and why. I think we'll start off with the most obvious difference between the two, the seriousness of the stories. All you have to do is look at the covers of the two games to see that Alice is a much more serious game than Lollipop. Lollipop Chainsaw's cover is literally a half-naked cheerleader holding a chainsaw with a decapitated head attached to her belt while she stands in front of high school lockers, while Alice is clearly more serious. And I find the story of Alice to be the main selling point above everything else. It's a very deep, dark, and intelligently written story of true horror, while LP, well, it's a cheerleader saving the world from zombies with a chainsaw. Being 100% honest, if it didn't have its amazing story backing it, Madness Returns would just be a good game, not a great game, so Alice wins in that regard. Gameplay-wise, I must give this one to Lollipop. Only maybe 20 to 25% of Madness Returns is combat, the rest being story and platforming. Meanwhile, LP is 90% combat and 10% everything else. And while the combat in Alice is amazing, it does get repetitive with only a couple of combos and a lot of just plain button mashing. Meanwhile, Lollipop has a lot of combos and different moves to mix things up. Both games contain mini-games in the levels to mix up the gameplay, and I must say that LP wins on this regard, but it's a close match between the two. Alice only really had one mini-game that I truly enjoyed, the one where you pilot a ship, while Lollipop Chainsaw has some very memorable mini-games that are a lot of fun, like zombie basketball or running over zombies with the farming combine. Looking at graphics and art style, Alice wins here. McGee is a very gifted artist, and he put a lot of passion into the design of Alice. In fact, I even own a copy of the concept art book, which are not cheap. While Lollipop looks really good as well, I think Alice just stands out more with far more small details and memorable areas than LP. The last topic I want to touch here is the boss battles. Lollipop wins this one by far. Madness Returns really only has two boss fights, technically only the final boss, since the other is a mini-boss on Chapter 2. Meanwhile, Lollipop has a very memorable boss at the end of every chapter. In conclusion, I personally prefer Madness Returns, largely due to its gripping storytelling and stunning visuals, but if I feel like just turning my brain off for a couple hours to just kill zombies, I'd rather play Lollipop Chainsaw. But again, both are great games that I love very much, and I am very excited for the Lollipop Chainsaw remaster. Well, that's all for today, folks. For those new here, I mostly play, review, and discuss zombie and horror games. Maybe check out some of my other videos if that sounds interesting. Always remember that Jesus loves you. Peace.